Acting and Procurement Committee is now called to order. Chrissy, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Germana?
Here.
Ms. Conwell? Ms. Conwell is absent. Mr. Miller?
Here.
Ms. Simon? Ms. Simon is absent. We have a quorum.
Has anyone signed in for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
All right. Can we have a motion to approve our minutes from the November 5th meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. We have one item on our agenda today, and this is our Metro Health System Policies Resolution. And Chrissy, if you would read that resolution into the record.
Resolution 2014-0263, a resolution approving the Metro Health System's policies and procedures to participate in one or more joint purchasing associations for the purpose of acquiring supplies, equipment, and services provided through joint purchasing arrangements in order to achieve beneficial purchasing arrangements for the year 2015 in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code, Section 339.05, and declaring the necessity that this resolution become immediately effective.
All right. Well, this is a piece of legislation that we have seen many times over the last 3 years, or routinely, annually, over the last few years. So I think we're pretty familiar with it. But at the same time, we as always, invited Metro Health to come in and share a little bit about this resolution. And if you'd like to come forward and just give us a little insight and share with us who's here with you as well.
Manager of Local Government and Community Relations at Metro Health, and I would like to thank you for inviting us to be before the committee today and introduce Adrian Krizak, and introduce to you Adrian Krizak, who is the director of our supply chain department, and she would be happy to answer any questions that you might have on the purchasing policy.
All right. Well, again, welcome. Adrian, share with us, tell us who is in this collaborative group. We understand that it allows you to purchase in bulk and receive savings and recognize savings. But I'm sure there are many in the group which hospital facilities are in that group.
Okay. Group purchasing arrangements, we have several of them in place. Currently, we use some of the GSA schedules, the government schedules, and those joint purchasing arrangements. We are also currently members of Premier as our primary GPO, with an organization called Novation as our secondary, and then we have some smaller ones too as well. So it's not limited to one in particular, but our primary ones are the state contracts as well as Premier and Novation. Premier is, well, all of them are very large organizations, and there are a lot of other hospitals that are members of them as well. Premier has over 3,000 hospitals and an even higher number of doctor affiliations and so forth. Novation is slightly larger than Premier, so it has more members than that.
Okay. Are there any questions from the committee? All right.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Miller?
I would just ask whether there's been any new developments or innovations in the way that you're currently doing joint purchasing.
We are always looking at all of our relationships in relationship to joint purchasing arrangements, as well as these organizations are constantly looking at, what's in the forefront, what's practice, what is in the most benefit for their hospital organizations as a whole. And as members of those organizations, we are part of the committees that determine the contracts that they're going to be going after and how they're going to negotiate those contracts, as well as what they're going to look at and the criteria for that. We have a member of our organization also on their diversity and inclusion committee that looks at growing diverse and small businesses. Does that help?
Okay.
Any other, Councilman?
Yeah, I had a question. I just had to think a second how to say it. politely. The joint purchasing thing, it makes sense. But when I hear a company that has connections to 3,000 hospitals, it makes me wonder of, does any small supplier ever have a chance with such big numbers? Do you have any programs, or do you know if Premier has any programs for set-asides for smaller businesses?
Yes, there's two pieces to it. Premier has what's called the SEEDS program. All the GPOs, well, the GPOs that I am familiar with all have programs that look at diverse and small vendors, enterprises. Premier in particular has a program called the SEEDS program that focuses just on that group. And getting them contracts and working with them on initiatives to help them grow and also to get them to their partners. In addition to that, Metro Health does not just solely rely on these GPO or joint purchasing arrangements. We have an inclusion and diversity goals and objectives. So as part of that, whenever there is potential for any opportunity for us to partner with local or small vendors, we go with our other avenues for procurement, which would be going out to bid or going out for requests for quotes and so forth to make sure that we can be inclusive.
Do you share those results, the outcomes?
Our
the
diversity inclusive
diversity?
numbers, we have numbers that are shared with our board. I do not have them with me, but they can be made available.
Okay. And we could, it'd be nice to see those
Okay.
numbers. I know you have another partner here with you as well. Is there anything you'd like to share in your roles? No? Okay. All right.
You're good? She's lost her voice.
All right. Any other questions from the committee? If not, we thank you all. Thank you for presenting and giving us a little more insight into what we've seen on an annual basis. And with that, I'll make a motion that we move this resolution to the full council under second reading suspension.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. This is probably a record, right? Our shortest meeting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. Is there any miscellaneous business? I'll share with the committee. We will look at our next committee meeting, not only to deal with whatever items we have referred, but we'll look to have an update on our disparity study as well. We know they're making progress, and I would imagine in the next 2 weeks, they will be prepared to share with us what those outcomes are.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would bring to your attention that in the fiscal resolution for this coming Tuesday's council meeting, there's the appropriation for the Huntington garage. And I think there's a very good chance that we will not approve that under suspension and that it might get referred to your committee. And as you know, we had questions about the bond legislation, and so we might want to have, well, I won't anticipate too far. It's up to the council president where to refer it, but it might happen.
Well, in 2 weeks.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
and just for the record, yesterday in the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee, I said I was going to bring something up at Public Works, but I didn't realize Bonnie was not going to be here today. In particular, we're talking about jail contracts, in particular the Cleveland jail contract. And I brought up the poster child of good government and cooperation, and that, of course, is the sanitary engineer. We have contracts where 35 cities believe that we know how to share services and bring economies. And hopefully, I'm gonna try to find out when I do talk to Ms. T1 what that formula is, because perhaps we could use some kind of similar type system to figure out how to do jail services is good and as, how do you want to say, agreeable to both sides that, you know, this is definitely working with shared services. And, you know, maybe we need to get that, how do you want a secret formula into jail services.
Any other comments? If not, Chrissy, has anyone signed?
No,
in
Mr.
for
Chair,
public
no one
comment?
has signed in.
All right. With that, our meeting is adjourned.